Welcome in, Emily. Welcome in. I'm just doing my hashtags. How is your day going? Thank you for coming in here right away. Your boss. I'm gonna have to put my kick stuff down below in a second. I'm just trying to get everything relatively ready so we can get into the algorithm. All right. Ready so we can get into the algorithm. All right. So I guess I'll do a little monologue here quick. Make sure you guys go follow my kick and my rumble. I'm gonna put that down in the description in a second. Everybody who's a real one needs to go follow my kick and my rumble. Show some love and support there. Um, so today we're really gonna talk about what everybody else is talking about. I want to watch a little bit Ian Carroll because I really love the way he breaks things down. Really informational. Really teaches a lot. So today I figured what better topic to go over, whether it's what Candace Owens has been going over or whatever. I think today is a good day to talk about, is the USA really in power? Because we got so much stuff that has been proving that the US is kind of not you know in power. um Welcome in, Post World. You guys always come into my live and ask me that. No, I do not need help with followers. Thank you so much. But God bless everybody who's in here, man. I really just want to go over the whole Israel situation, kind of get it broken down so we can continue to spread the word. Um, right now, the U.S. is kind of in a crazy position. As you guys know, Israel is acquiring a bunch of different, um, we'll say, media outlets, Paramount, NBC, things like this. So it's pretty interesting. I think I can't remember his name, but he came up with $300 million. So he's buying out everything. That means UFC is going to be owned by them boys. Um, Everything we watch, and Netanyahu literally said on air that he is working on the eighth front phase of battling or of fighting the war, which means he's trying to buy TikTok, probably YouTube too. This is it. Did they buy YouTube? No, I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest with you. They're buying everything. So much love. What's up, Nas Bay? Welcome, and make sure you hit that follow button. Show some love and support to your boy. We're gonna get into this video here. We are watching Ian Carroll talking about what's going on with Tyler Robinson, saying that don't the title is "Don't believe your eyes." Don't believe your own eyes, believe in the FBI, right? So you can already kind of tell what this is about. I just wanted to skim over this just a little bit. We'll put it on a little bit of a faster speed of playback. But yeah, so make sure you guys double tap that screen, so show some love and support. I don't know where everything's gonna go with this whole, Israel buying all the media outlets, because they are. I mean, Paramount is already a done deal. So UFC is definitely gonna be under it. TikTok is getting there. I mean, that's why they did the whole shutdown thing. It's really interesting, but instead of me trying to tell you, let's let these other people talk about it. But I wanted to go over this video first. So much love to everybody who's in here. Much love, Nasbay. Hopefully, you guys are liking the stream on Rumble and Kick. Make sure you are. Let's see. Let's go to my stream quick. All right, 2 viewers. Be better of hit the subscribe button or the follow button, Nasbay. I'm not gonna support you if you ain't supporting me, but boy, double tap that screen if you're on YouTube. Get them likes up. Show some love and support. Let's go ahead and start this video quick.
Just be careful of the camera, Deej. And I'm never gonna have sight at where the shot was taken.
I'll be back.
And you can tell that just from looking at the video. You can tell that they chose to clip this video because it's not like they were handed this video. They were accessing the original security footage that was just a rolling stream, and they chose to start this footage right after he was already running. which is a little weird. But maybe it's just maybe the angle is maybe the angle's making it look like we can see where he took the shot, but you can't really see where he took the shot, right? Maybe we're kind of fooling ourselves. You want to double check these things, think critically. And Blake Bednarz did. Shout out to Blake Bednarz. Follow him. He's been doing a lot of on the ground reporting here because he actually went to the university and went and tried to find this camera. So here he is showing that this is the building. This is the corner right here where homeboy jumped off, right? That's the corner. And he's here in the grass. The building is to the right. And he's looking, where is the security camera? It's right there. That's the security camera that they gave footage from, right? Make sense? And so when you open up Google Earth, interestingly enough, actually, you can see the security camera on Google Earth. So this is the Lossy Center. This is the corner where homie jumped down, right? The alleged shooting position is over here on this corner, right here. Pow. That corner is clearly visible from this security camera right here on this corner. It can see the whole roof, right? And in Google Earth, you can actually see what looks like a little artifact of it actually showing you the camera. That looks like the little camera right there. So that's a little weird, right? That they theoretically have video evidence of him taking the shot right there with the rifle, but chose to cut the video to not show it. Okay. And then you pair that up with all these questions about how did he get the rifle up there? What, like how did he take it apart? And so let's get into this a little bit.
All right, so I want to kind of switch over this thing. I thought that this was crazy. Larry Ellison is talking about how they're going to be using what's that one called? What's that one? Palantir or Palantir, and all these other things to make people on their best behavior. And I want you guys to kind of listen to this. We're on X right now. Follow my X, by the way, on the bottom here, Kanya 0_KANIA0, whatever. But let's listen to this here. This is just kind of scary. I mean, we're so close, guys. We are so close to a completely surveilled state. It's ridiculous. Welcome in, Jesser X. Much love. Double tap that screen. Show some love and support, guys. I know I missed my time to get in the algorithm. I'm an hour late, but it is what it is. Doesn't matter. But let's listen to what this guy has to say. It's pretty scary. I mean, they're just doing all these false flags to make it so they can keep implementing more and more things that they can spy on you with.
The police will be on their best behavior because we're constantly watching and recording everything that's going on. Citizens will be on their best behavior because we're constantly recording and reporting everything that's going on. And it's unimpeachable.
Just so you guys know, Palantir is one of the businesses and tech companies that is completely taking over Washington and everybody else. I mean, Trump's really backing it. And then this guy is the owner of Oracle, the other one. So just wanted to put that out there.
The cars have cameras on them. All right, I think we have a squad car here someplace. But those kind of applications using AI, if we can use AI, and we're using AI to monitor the video. So if that altercation that occurred in Memphis, the chief of police would be immediately notified. It's not people that are looking at those cameras. It's AI that's looking at the camera. No. You can't do this. It would be like a shooting. That's going to be immediately, that's going to be an event that's immediately, an alarm is going to go off. It's going to be, and we're going to have supervision. In other words, every police officer is going to be supervised at all times.
All right, now I want to bring you guys over here and kind of show you something. This is why the title of the video is what it is, right? So now let's move over to this. And I'm just going to highlight something for you to read. All right, read that first one. Ellison was born on August 17th, 1944 in New York City to a Jewish mother, right? Ellison moved, on the second paragraph, Ellison moved with his adoptive parents to Chicago's South Shore, then a primarily Jewish middle-class neighborhood. He remembers his adoptive mother, Lillian Spellman Ellison, as a warm and loving whatever, right? All right, I just wanted to sit there and show you guys that. Wonder why he is so rich. Anyways, my bad. I'm done being an anti-Semite at this point.
And if there's a problem, AI will report the problem and report it to the appropriate person, whether it's the sheriff or the chief or whomever we need to take control of the situation. We have, same thing. We have drones. We just, if there's something going on in a shopping center, and I'll stop. A drone goes out there.
By the way, make sure you guys double tap that screen. We're on the road to 7,000 subs, man. We're like under 150 away, so double tap that
But
screen.
they're way faster than a police car. There's no reason for, by the way, high-speed chases. You shouldn't have high-speed chases between cars. You just have a drone follow the car. I mean, it's very, very simple. And the new generation.
You guys understand? Like, that's like in the movies when these cars are like on a high-speed chase and there's a big ass drone that's the size of a fucking like a little yacht chasing them and like shooting at them and shit. Like, is that what we're gonna come to? Better stop the car now. We're gonna blow you up. It's just fucking crazy.
Of autonomous drones.
And then, oh god, let me show you the video of these freaking drones, dude. Drones flying. I don't even know how to spell. Watch this. These drones are okay, flying by themselves autonomously, as he said, through woods, right? So here is what Palantir is working on. Now they have no idea what the terrain's like. They have not been. There's no GPS in them. There's none of this. They're just sitting in the woods, and they're going to use their automated systems and stuff like that to get through the trees and try and triangulate the area and navigate the terrain. And think about how scary this would be in war. You don't need people. You can just have these drones. Look at how they're posted up on these little pads right here. I mean, it's just crazy. Make sure you guys double tap that screen, show some love, man. Watch how these drones are flying through these woods, man. This is just wild. Then down here, you can see the little map that they are kind of making, an infrared map. So I'm assuming the green is the grass on the bottom, the purple is the trees. So now it's showing the tilted bamboo and how they're able to navigate through. Look at that one that just went under it. That's insane. Look at that. That's insane. Okay, so hold on one second. I'm looking up Palantir here for you guys. All right. So I won't change the screen. I just want to show you guys. So Palantir Technologies Incorporated is an American publicly traded company specializing in software platforms for data mining. Headquarters in Denver, Colorado. It was founded in 2003 by Peter Thiel. We'll get to him later. We all know who he's associated with, them boys. Stephen Cohen, same, and a couple other people. This company has 4 major operating systems: Palantir Gotham, which is being used in the military; Palantir Foundry; Palantir Apollo; Palantir AIP. Palantir Gotham is an intelligence tool used by the police in many countries as a protective policing system and by militaries in counterterrorism analysis, including the United States intelligence community and the United States Department of Defense. It is a software as service, SaaS, is one of the 5 offerings authorized in mission critical national security systems. So they're using it everywhere, all over the United States, even in war, right? So imagine these drones coming at you in war. They're already using it. I mean, when you look at the Ukraine, Like, let's see one of the drones in Ukraine. I hope it doesn't get me demonetized. Let's see if it's not. I hope it's not blowing somebody up. But imagine in Ukraine, like how these guys are, and you're being chased by these guys, and they're faster than a car, right? That's just insane to me. I mean, look at how they're all perched in this forest. I mean, it's just wild, right? So Peter Thiel and Alexis Karp want you to believe that Palantir exists to serve America's first. That's why their licensed software is over 50 countries globally. They don't serve America. They serve the bottom line, period. Which is true. I mean, Palantir is taking over, guys. This is I mean, this is like literally off the movies. This is what they're trying to achieve. I mean, like I was watching a CIA episode or CIA interview episode where he was saying that the CIA can't even cross borders anymore because of facial recognition. Imagine what it's going to be with Palantir. I mean, we're all going to have the barcodes in our skin very soon, right? Bro, how insane would this be? Like, this is an intro for Palantir. Like, does anybody not see how fucking insane this is? Battles are won before they begin. See, what an intro to Palantir. What an intro. I also want to show you. You guys know, have you guys, say what's up in the chat if you're here, by the way, double tap that screen. Have you guys ever heard of, the Chinese drones who are, they're using them for light shows. I'll show you. But it kind of gives like an actual depiction of what it would look like if they're coming at you, which is insane. I would never go to one of those shows. All right, here we go.
Ching, a drone show hit Guinness World Records. Only China could pull this off. Last night in Chongqing, a drone show hit Guinness World Records. How many? 11,787 drones. Each costs thousands with lights, batteries, upkeep.
Imagine this, like all these drones, except they all have red eyes and they're coming at you. Like, this is just ridiculous. It's just fucking insane.
Together, it's like lighting $1 billion mansion in the sky. The US burns fireworks, gone in seconds. Europe does light shows.
Dude, and that's the thing. Look at that. Like, you don't even see them in the sky until they want you to. Like, it's fucking scary. I mean, they're going to have infrared guiding systems, night, like everything. Now, watch when this flower comes to light. Like, this is just scary.
Fireworks, gone in seconds. Europe does light shows, just colors. China? They turned the sky into a 3D screen. Animals, glowing words, full animations. Like the world's priciest billboard hanging above a city. Free to watch. Even crazier, this was the first dual formation. 2 different images at once. Sounds cool? Behind it, burning money. Algorithms, testing, GPS, it all costs big. One mistake, thousands lost. Over 10,000 synced perfectly, that's a money-burning miracle. No human pilots, AI plus GPS ran it. Result, 0 crashes, 0 delay, so clean it looked like CGI.
All right, you guys get it. That's just fucking scary. I mean, holy shit. Is it not? All right, so we're going to go ahead and stop all that. I just wanted to show you guys some of the drones and stuff like that Palantir and all them are coming up with. Let's go to Ian Carroll breaking it down on the Jake Shields show. Shout out Ian Carroll. Shout out Jake Shields. What awesome channels. Both Jake Shields and Ian Carroll, super based people. I suggest all you guys, though, who are here, go follow Ian Carroll, man. He's awesome. His awesome deep dives inspires me. I kind of want to do it how he does it. You know what I'm saying? So we're not really an algorithm today, but anyone that's here, I appreciate you guys for being here. Make sure you guys say what's up in the chat. Quit being so damn quiet. Double tap that screen, show some love and support. We're on the road to 10,000 subs. Let's see how many we're at. We are at 6,815 subs, y'all. 387,000 views the last 7 days. So let's run it up, you guys. I know we can do it. Show some love and support. Let's go.
One export is at this point is like either
Spyware.
diamonds, blackmail, or spyware, right?
Blackmail. What's Palantir? I hear the name. What is that? company do?
Palantir,
All right, here's where they're getting the Palantir. I'll be quiet. Let's listen.
because Israel's #1 export is at this point is like either
Spyware.
diamonds, blackmail, or spyware, right?
Blackmail. What's Palantir? I hear the name. What is that? company do?
Palantir. So Palantir is like this new boogeyman that is a boogeyman, but it's representative of this bigger industry. But Palantir was founded by Peter Thiel and Alex Karp, and there was a couple
Thiel is one of
founders.
them.
Joe Lonsdale's one of them. So these two of these guys, Peter Thiel and Joe Lonsdale, they're from the PayPal mafia, from Elon Musk
And
PayPal
Elon Musk
days.
was part of that.
Yeah, and so they had a bunch of funding when they started, and they basically at first, I don't know if they explicitly planned it this way, but their first client became the CIA. And
Wow.
and at the time, their only client was the CIA, and the CIA has been their client ever since. And so they make AI ultra databasing, like spy software. They are the proverbial, like in the movies when the secret agents are like, all right, pull up the face on that terrorist, all right, zoom in on the terrorist, all right, track the movements, all right. So like they're the everything database is the idea, and it's for warfare explicitly. So it's used in combat, in warfare, like it was used in Iraq and Afghanistan. It's being used in Israel and Gaza now. And the goal theoretically is to use it to enhance the American warfighter overseas, and they're also deploying it domestically to deport illegal immigrants, and it would never obviously be used on
They
civilians.
would never use it against us.
Yeah, no way. But the human rights questions are obviously infinite, and the funding is insane. Like how much influence Peter Thiel has through his
So our
lobbying,
government funding.
yeah, exactly. So the big one that's worth mentioning real quick is JD Vance. JD Vance was
Right, he's
massively
tied to Peter
funded
Thiel.
by Peter Thiel, but not only that, he got his whole career is Peter Thiel through and through and through. And if anyone wants to know more about this, looking into reporting by like Whitney Webb, reporting by Derek Bros, a lot of those guys kind of in the like sort of center fuck everyone crowd where they're like everyone is corrupt. Those guys have been on this. And JD Vance got his start at Mithril Capital. He was funded by Peter Thiel. He later founded another one that Peter Thiel helped support. I forget the exact details, but he's just been like Peter Thiel all the way up to this
I remember
vice presidential pick.
that was very concerning to me.
Yeah. And so by all indications, he's Peter Thiel's guy. And Peter Thiel has that kind of influence behind the scenes.
Yeah, right. You know, something happens to Trump, then he controls the country.
Exactly. And so Palantir is concerning for myriad reasons, both from like the founders, from their perspectives, their backstory. The name Palantir is this evil, all-seeing ball from the Lord of the
Really?
Rings.
Oh my
That's so
God,
like
are you serious?
it's the seeing stone in the Lord of the Rings that the wizards use to see the whole
Everything.
everything.
Wow, it's very
But it
intimidating.
corrupts you naturally. Like when you use it, it corrupts you to evil if you use it too much,
Wow.
which is like, well, that's a funky name to pick. But Palantir, in a way, is also just a metaphor for the greater, surveillance industrial state, this like technological, technocratic hellscape that they're trying to build for us, because it's not just Palantir. There's a lot of American, tech companies that are doing sketchy shit like that too. But and it's not just Israel, but Israel's a good example because we do this too.
Yeah.
But Israel had this policy for the last 10 years or so of exporting what would be their like spy organizations, like their NSA, which is called Unit 8200. They at a certain point realized that if all of this spying gets caught, then it's like we don't want to be caught doing it.
Yeah.
And we can also do a lot more if we just export your unit out into the private sector. Go found a company, right? Go found a tech startup that makes spyware software.
So it doesn't
sell
link
it to
directly back
everyone.
to Israel.
Exactly.
Because Israel, the Snowden document showed they were our #1 spy threat.
Exactly.
Never got too into like the
Yeah.
details of it, but it showed that was very concerning.
Another thing that Snowden showed, actually, that I just kind of was reminded of on the story I'm doing, is that he also showed in those documents that the NSA was giving Israel information about Palestinians in America.
Wow.
So that, I assume, so that Israel could then go and find their relatives in Palestine and like
Potentially kill them or rape
kill them,
or who
threaten
knows what
them,
else.
threaten
Yeah,
them,
it's-
blackmail them, whatever. So there's all these tech problems, and Israel is one of these primary exporters where they'll found all these companies like Black Cube that Harvey Weinstein used to spy on his
he used it on,
accusers. right?
Hey guys, make sure you guys double tap that screen when you get in here. Thank you guys for the support. Let's try and hit 100 likes today. Let's try and get in the algorithm. So everybody double tap those emotes on the bottom and say what's up in the chat, man. You guys are quiet today. Usually we're running it up.
I'm thinking of Paragon, which is this newer one that we can talk about. But Pegasus was the one that Jamal
That's the
Khashoggi
other
got
one,
chopped
yeah.
up by. But they were also using Pegasus to spy on people all over the world.
That also an Israeli company.
Yep. So Pegasus was founded by NSO Group, which is an Israeli cutout in this exact same way, where they found a private business that was actually just all ex-Unit 8200 people. And then at the end of last year, end of 2024, another scandal broke out, and the headlines were crazy. These headlines were like, let me see if I can get it right. Vatican and Israel implicated in new spying scandal in Italy or something like that.
Like together, or they're spying on
both,
the Vatican?
the
They're
both.
spying together.
So it's this like Italian private investigating firm that's like contracting with the government. And so they have an official government job in Italy, and they have this little office, and they're using this spyware software called Paragon, which is developed by this company from Israel that we can talk about in a second. But what they're actually doing is they're hacking the Italian government's servers in ways that are not within the scope of their mission at all.
Yeah.
And then they're collecting information. They're selling dossiers on anyone you want. And they're essentially using this like Italian government position as a front to hide what they're really doing. And they're actually just spying on whoever they want using this Israeli software. And then the Italian government got wise to them and started surveilling them, and they started wiretapping their offices, and they started recording conversations, and they recorded Israeli intelligence officers coming to the office and basically giving them directions, actually directing this operation. And one of the recordings that they recorded was these Israeli officers talking about a job on behalf of the Vatican, allegedly, that was a $1 million payout is what the allegations were. So it's like this whole fucking network, and it's this whole shady thing, and they're spying on journalists, especially journalists that are critical of the anti-Semitism treatment in Israel, or in Italy. But this firm, Paragon, that makes the software they're using, the software is called Graphite, and the firm is called Paragon. Paragon was founded by Ehud Barak, which was Jeffrey Epstein's buddy. Ehud Barak is the Israeli dude that was like going and visiting Jeffrey Epstein all the time. He's the ex-head of Israeli military intelligence, ex-IDF. He's one of the most decorated soldiers in Israeli history. And he was like, by all indications to me, he was like one of Jeffrey Epstein's primary setter-uppers, like the guy that put it all together, probably.
He was just like a pawn, it looks like, to me, in my opinion. Epstein, he was a good talker. He was given all the money by, was the Wexner or whatever?
By Wexner was his bankroll. Maxwell was probably his handler. I assume that Father Maxwell was probably one of the brains of the operation that kind of like conceptualized of it, probably.
Self-admitted Israeli spy.
Exactly. And then Ghislaine was probably the handler kind of on behalf, and also a woman is very essential for the pimp role in that regard.
To bring more women in.
But then Ehud Barak is this like high level. He's the ex-prime minister of Israel.
Oh yeah, I know who he is.
He's the ex-prime minister.
He visited like 30 something times. He flew from Israel to New York, at least I think it was like 36 times.
Bingo.
So it showed this is going directly to the Israeli government.
And he's one of the guys that no one ever wants to talk about, right? Because that's like one of the clearer links.
It's the direct link
that
right
to
the Israeli government. Yeah.
And he also was the co-founder of this other spy software organization that gets caught up in this other scandal in Italy. So Ehud Barak plus four other members of Unit 8200 were the founders of this company. And one of those other members was the ex-head of Unit 8200. His name is Ehud Schneerson. So it's two different Ehuds plus three other, and they're all Israeli NSA. And they found this company that does this spyware hacking, and the program that they sell, this Graphite program getting used, it's like the Pegasus one where it goes onto your phone with no clicking, no links, no nothing. You don't know. It just goes on your phone, and it can hack.
It's one thing to criticize your former employer. It's taboo to do that. But to criticize an employer that also owns extremely lethal technologies and surveillance technologies that are highly invasive and used in war zones is something else entirely.
It's 2025. We're all kind of used to government surveillance. The idea that we're all being watched all the time and don't own our own personal data has become normalized. We're also used to the military spending vast amounts of our money on just a few giant defense contractors. But one tech company wants to change both of those things
and become the ultimate military contractor and
the ultimate arbiter of all of our data.
Palantir is here to disrupt and make the institutions we partner with the very best in the world, and when it's necessary, to scare enemies and on occasion kill them.
Check out Palantir shares surging 22% after the company cited a boom in demand for its AI software from the U.S. government.
We're doing it. We're doing it. And I'm sure you're enjoying this as much as I am.
Palantir, a tech company based here in Denver, claims they can revolutionize government.
Sorry, guys, if you keep seeing me leave the mic, I just made my kid some food. I'm putting my other kid down for a nap. Once my younger one's down, I won't be leaving the mic as much. But double tap that screen, guys. Let's try and get to 20 likes right off rip. Appreciate you guys. Let's try and get us in the algorithm, and much love.
Government systems with their data analysis software newly powered by artificial intelligence. They've been hired by the Department of Defense, the FBI, local police departments, and even the IRS and Wendy's to take in the information those organizations collect even more information, and use that data to draw conclusions.
It can be used to completely reconfigure organizations' ontology, its reality, what systems matter, what information matters, what processes matter, how they are.
You know what this reminds me of, especially after watching the drones? It reminds me of Terminator, like straight up.
Are structured, what biases are introduced at each of those stages.
We talked to a former Palantir employee, dug into decades of research, and listened to hours of Alex Karp's own words to unwrap the layers of Palantir's carefully cultivated sales pitch, how they capitalize on fear, uncertainty, and unrest.
I don't think in win-lose. I think in domination. This is a company built for bad times. Bad times mean strong finances internally. Bad times are very...
See what he just said? This is why I said earlier, this is a company built for bad times. So they're going to use each and every excuse. Oh, there was a riot here. We need to put more surveillance. Oh, there was an attack here. We need to put more surveillance. We need to do this. You guys, be aware. You know, things are going to start being taken over very soon. Make sure you guys do your research. Use the internet to your advantage while you can. Because within the next 5-10 years, things are going to be very different. And I want to just replay what he said. When this is a company for bad times, that AKA means, so every time something bad happens, we're going to surveil you more and more and more, eventually in your home and eventually on your phone and everything else. So there's no more bad times.
Unrest.
I don't think in win-lose. I think in domination. This is a company built for bad times. Bad times mean strong finances internally. Bad times are very good for Palantir because we build products that are robust, that are built for danger.
Let's rewind a little. Palantir's story starts with one of the most effective things a company can have for sales: fear. After the September 11th attacks, the United States government began expanding surveillance both at home and abroad. This was, of course, a boon for the defense industry at large. Simultaneously, the Silicon Valley tech industry was growing fast and making people in a once obscure industry very, very rich, very, very quickly. Like the founders and executives at PayPal, known as the PayPal Mafia. Elon Musk, Reid Hoffman, the LinkedIn guy, and Peter Thiel. When PayPal was sold, Thiel had millions of dollars burning a hole in his pocket and an idea. PayPal had developed systems for detecting fraud and crimes on the platform. What if they could use similar thinking to analyze the world at large? So Thiel pulled from his network to build out a new company. One of the first hires was Thiel's Stanford Law School roommate, Alex Karp, who'd gone on after Stanford to get a PhD in not business or computer science or engineering, but neoclassical social theory. They named the company Palantir, after the Palantiri from J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings.
In Lord of the Rings, the Palantir Stone is a magical object that allows its users to predict the future or to see what's going on in a remote location.
It was originally created by the elves. It was meant to be used for good purposes. It is potentially a very dangerous technology. It's very powerful.
Long have you hunted me?
So that's Middle-earth, but what does Palantir do in a regular Earth?
And what we do is we use what legal scholars call predicate-based search. So we would look at you And then we would go out and say, oh, there's lots of different things in your life that may be indicative of someone involved in bad behavior.
Put simpler, they make software that makes it easier for their customers to collect and analyze data, and then act on that analysis with and without AI. By 2013, 10 years after their founding, Palantir's client list included the FBI, the CIA, the NSA, the Marines, the Air Force, Special Operations Command, and more.
Did your company help to track and kill Osama bin Laden?
You know, we can never. I'll tell you, the closest thing to an answer is the.
You know, I can never. The closest thing to an answer is this means yes, guys.
There are when you look at when you open the paper and look in the news about these kind of things, there's a 2/3 chance, depending on the country involved, that somehow my company was involved.
Fundamentally, the mission that is pushed to employees is that we're solving the world's hardest problems and supporting Western institutions. That is the main driver of sort of this militaristic culture that is developed inside of Palantir.
If you do not feel comfortable supporting the legitimate efforts of America and its allies in the context of war, don't join Palantir.
This entire message of like, we are the most lethal, we are the most able to surveil and process large amounts of data.
You have created the system which you call kill chain.
Privately. Publicly, the lawyers have some innocuous something like tech for the amelioration of unwanted blah blah blah. some term we're supposed to use.
Let's.
For me, it's the kill chain.
Kill chain sounds good.
Kill chain isn't an original term created by Palantir. It's the more general military verbiage for the series of decisions leading from identifying a target to taking their life. Palantir.
Yeah, so back then, I think it started around 2000. Don't quote me on this, but it was around that time. Especially with the Obama administration, they would come up with what's called a kill list, right? And they were very proud of this. They would come up with like 5 to 10 people at a time, whatever. They would come up with the list, bring it to the president. They would go over it, and then overnight they would go and take these people out. And this happened almost daily during his presidency. I don't know if Trump kept it. I'm sure they did. I mean, look at how they did that one guy, that one ISIS leader or whatever the hell his name was. I can't remember. But yeah, I mean, they've been doing this shit for a long time, y'all.
Palantir's contract added their software and artificial intelligence to the kill chain.
It's quicker and better and safer and more violent.
It's tech that Juan helped market.
It reduces the distance you have to the problem, but when you're able to take a step back and really see all the narratives and how they were shaped and the actual application of these technologies, your whole world starts falling apart, which is something that, you know.
I mean, imagine being in Ukraine, right? And you're in a tank or you're driving and you're just constantly being watched. I mean, they send drones wherever they want to. I mean, you should just seen that footage. I mean, I'm pretty sure that everybody's constantly watched.
Definitely happened to me.
Juan didn't leave Palantir entirely for ethical reasons. He just got another job. But the reason he eventually started speaking out against Palantir came after watching the Israeli invasion of Gaza following the October 7th attacks. Palantir has contracts with the Israeli Defense Forces. The exact nature of the contracts is opaque, intentionally, but there is evidence to suggest that Palantir's artificial intelligence tech was used for selecting targets in Gaza. Karp doesn't mind the controversy. In fact, it's part of the marketing. Palantir will even pick up the projects that other companies rejected for political reasons.
We are very comfortable being unpopular.
Karp doesn't think controversy will lose Palantir customers.
Whatever is pissing them off, they're still buying the product.
Wendy's hired Palantir to help with their supply chain. Palantir works with health insurance companies to build AI for denials management to protect revenue. Do you want Palantir's AI making decisions about what care is covered for you and your loved ones? They also do business with for-profit hospitals, major investment banks, and even other defense contractors. In 2024, Palantir brought in nearly $2.9 billion in revenue, 55% of which came from government sources, with the vast majority being American. So let's look at their pitch to the American government. Last year, Palantir CTO Sham Sankar put out a presentation and white paper called The Defense Reformation. He cites The Last Supper, which was a secretive 1993 meeting between defense industry executives and the Deputy Secretary of Defense. Over a dozen companies walked in, and only a few walked out. That dinner is often cited as the origin of our consolidated military-industrial complex.
All right, I'm over that video. Kind of know what Palantir's, what's going on with Palantir. Scary stuff, you guys. Make sure you stay vigilant, man. These are active, and when I say active, I mean actively trying to take over the United States, especially when it comes to surveillance and all this other stuff. So you guys really, 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 please do your research. Save yourself. Don't sit here and be an idiot, not educate yourself. I really hate when people don't try and, the truth is out there. Just go look at it. And that's why I try and do these deep dives on my streams. We're kind of going to go into another Ian Carroll video. I'm sorry, but he's my favorite when it comes to deep dives and talking about things. He's just so knowledgeable. He doesn't need a fucking notebook right in front of him or none of that. He just, goes right into it. So much love to you guys. And yeah, let's play this little clip here. Shout out to the Danny, what's it called now? Danny Jones show. Much love. As you guys can see, there's already a little government thing down here saying the satanic panic is a moral panic consisting of over 12,000 unsubstantiated cases of satanic and ritual abuse starting in North America in the 1980s, spreading throughout many parts of the world by the late 1990s and persisting today. So that sounds fun. Let's hop into it. But yeah, shout out to Ian Carroll. Go subscribe to him. Shout out to the Danny Show or whatever this is, Danny Jones. Go subscribe to him. And yeah.
Thanks for coming on the show, dude.
Oh, totally. I'm super stoked. I had somehow not found your show despite it being huge. And then when I went to look it up, I started finding like all my heroes and people that I would die to talk to and people whose books I have like annotated and stuff. So it was so cool to like find a huge resource of information that I'm looking for to like see an interview with John Perkins, see an interview with Christian and oh yeah, Zach, partner.
Yep.
Who made that doc, like
crazy doc.
Yeah. So it's just like, okay, clearly these are conversations that I need to learn from. And you must be accumulating so much knowledge about like so many cool, wild avenues of what's really going on out here.
Dude, there's so much out there. It's hard to keep it all in your brain. My hard drive's like overloaded. But yeah, it's fun. And you like, when did you blow up on Twitter and become so famous for talking about all this crazy?
I blew up on Twitter because of the Diddy trial, and I might have been the first one that made the connection. It was actually one of my followers that made the connection. It wasn't me, because I'm not actually all that smart. I'm just good at explaining things, good at taking notes, and like I was a teacher, so I'm good at that process. But a follower was like, yo, Diddy's fixer guy in that court document, in those lawsuits, that was Michael Jackson's head of security. And so then I went and started looking into Michael Jackson and realized that this guy, Fahim Muhammad, is like so sus. He became the king of pop's head of security at age 21, fresh out of college with a business and marketing degree. And then on his watch, Michael Jackson just happens to die. And he's this like second or third on the scene. And then he immediately is like rewarded, apparently, essentially, by going and being the head of Diddy's security and essentially running this whole sexual blackmail scheme that Diddy was running.
Yeah.
And putting that together was kind of groundbreaking, and Candace Owens picked it up and started pushing it out. And that was probably like when I blew up on X and specifically, but I had blown up on TikTok first, which was kind of strategic, but for sort of very different content, very much more like mainstream kind of. That was when I was a little more less knowledgeable about what's really going on. And as I started to hone in on like the bigger questions and essentially started talking about more and more censored topics, TikTok more and more was censoring my videos and taking stuff down. And so X kind of came into my space at just the...
I literally quit TikTok because it was just too liberal. I'm starting to do X more, so follow my X. But oh yeah, I gotta post my Kick and my Rumble down there below. Make sure you guys go follow that as well, because freedom of speech is definitely being censored right now.
Right time when I needed a platform where I could start talking about Epstein, start talking about the CIA,
Is that like right when Elon took over?
No, it was a while after Elon took
okay.
over. It's just when I got on X because people had been kind of encouraging. They were seeing how like censored and banned I was on TikTok, and they've been encouraging me for quite some time to go try out X. It was like mostly my crypto homies and like there's a few accounts that were specifically like, yo, you got to come over to Twitter. It's where it's happening. And I was resistant for a long time. And then the moment I got over there, it only took like a day or two, and I realized like this is 100% where the conversations are happening. Both because it's where there is more freedom of speech. It's not infinite, but also like the format just allows for like, because you can share evidence, you can link tweets to tweets. It just has a format that allows for discussion and debate directly in the comments of every post. That TikTok is like, okay, 200 characters with no links. Like, what are you going to do with that? That's just a sensationalism machine. So
isn't there something going on with Instagram? I heard where they're like curating the comments on Instagram. Have you heard about this?
A little bit, yeah.
Where they're like showing you only the comments that like.
All right, let's move to some interesting more stuff. We can talk about the Trump attempt quick.
The reason, but random has to have probabilities involved. Like you have to be able to explain it and be like, cool, that's how it happened.
Right.
And so when you look at the Trump shooting, for example, you either have to think that all of the weird shit that happened is explainable by what they're telling you and that there's nothing suspicious about that kind of mainstream narrative about it, or you have to start asking a lot of questions. And almost all versions of there's something suspicious about this and there's questions to be asked, almost every version of that leads to at least some level of inside job or some level of someone being complicit in something. And there's a lot of versions of what that might be, but regardless of what that is, it's monumentally important because like that's an assassination attempt on one of the most important and polarizing figures in the last 50 years. And it very well could have sparked things like World War III or things like massive government change. Like there's just so many implications that I think people are too politically charged right now to like the Trump crowd is super gravitating towards it, obviously. But everyone who is not down with Trump, I think is incentivized to ignore it because of that political leaning. When like the implications of it should be apolitical. Because if you suppose you didn't support JFK, the implications of JFK getting shot were still world changing for the rest of eternity. And so I think that in many ways,
if people don't understand how one small thing can make something so big. I mean, World War I started because of that one kid, 19 years old, shot the prime minister of, I can't remember what country it was. Let's see here. Who did? Hold on. All right, so the kid you're referring, a 19-year-old Gavrilo Princip, I don't know. So this is one little thing that started a big war and a chain reactions of other wars. So 19-year-old, we'll call him Gav, a Bosnian Serb nationalist who assassinated Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria-Hungary and his wife on June 28, 1914. This assassination is considered to be the immediate trigger to set off the train of events that led to the outbreak of World War I. So you can see how a 19-year-old kid, because of his beliefs, went and shot the, fucking, who was it again? Austria and Hungary's prime minister, Archduke Franz Ferdinand, and his wife, and killed him. And he set off situations for millions of Americans and millions of Europeans and stuff to die. So, I mean, when people are in America, like these crazy radical leftists or people on the right, they do these things. They don't understand that one thing could like set off a, fucking chain reaction to cause civil unrest or civil war. Look at what happened to Charlie Kirk. Someone shot him. Look at how crazy everything has been so far and how insane everybody's trying to go to cover shit up and make a story or whatever. Look at how when Trump almost was killed. That was, I'm sure if he was killed that day, it wouldn't have been good for us.
Ways, and this happens in all fields, like our polarization of our political like minds and emotions often makes people tune into things that don't matter and tune out things that are massively important. So I'm following that one super close because I think it's fascinating.
What is your theory on the Trump thing, the assassination attempt? What's your
I
latest?
think before we go into it, it's important to state that like anyone who thinks that they know what's happening in this world is way too confident in themselves. Like we don't even know how physics work. We don't know how gravity works. Like we don't know, but we can kind of like speculate on.
By the way, guys, I won't be live for that long this afternoon. But tonight I will go live again like I did last time. We really ran it up. I mean, we ran it up last stream when I was live at like 8, whatever, my time. So I'll be live for about another 45 minutes. I'm gonna get off, and then tonight I'm gonna hop on. It's 2:30 for my time right now, so about 8:30 I'm gonna hop on, and we're gonna run it up tonight, y'all. So make sure you guys tune in for that. Hit the subscribe button with the notification bell, and double tap that screen. Hit the like button for me just pausing it at the right moment, so this guy looks like he's all twacked up. Anyway, double tap that screen, hit the subscribe button. We're so close to 7,000 subscribers. Thank you guys so much. I'll shut up.
Probabilities. And the way I like to think is just in terms of there's lots of possibilities and some are more likely than others. And as you get evidence, you kind of assess that one seems more likely to me, that one seems less likely, but I still just kind of keep them all in mind.
And there's probably way more
case.
evidence that's going to come out. Too.
Exactly. It's not like you're so dumb that you can only think of one possibility and you can think about all 3 options at once. And as evidence comes in, you can weigh it against those 3 possibilities, right? So what I lean towards as being most likely is I think it's reasonably safe to assume at this point that it was a bullet that did go past his head, that grazed him or like right past his ear. And there was a photo of the bullet that is pretty much corroborated by mainstream news that is very anti-Trump normally. So it's like, and like people died. So there were definitely bullets. There was definitely shots. The audio analysis makes me think that there was more than one gun being fired. And it's like relatively easy to hear on basically every video that was taken by cell phones. In the fact, do you know what I'm referring to there?
The audio, now you're talking about the shots being fired?
Yeah. So like when you look at the videos, the shots that are fired is basically like 3 cracks that echo in one way, and then a very fast volley of 5 that echo in a different way. And there is an argument to be made that like the camera turns, and so maybe the phone is picking it up differently.
Right.
But I'm not necessarily convinced by that. And then there is like a sniper shot and another shot, and there's been other like highly experienced like combat veterans that have identified that they heard silenced rounds within that zone, like
silenced rounds.
Yeah, like there's a really interesting clip that circulated around Twitter like a couple weeks ago of a Marine scout sniper, someone of that type of caliber, watching the footage, and the moment he hears it, he's like, "Oh, I know what that is." And they replay the sound a few times, and he's like, "You hear that? That is a like suppressed round, not a." And I don't think you don't need to know all that. Like, you don't need to make decisions about that to realize that the level of incompetence is astounding. The fact that people were redirected, when you start to analyze like all of because we have a lot of footage of it now, and we have what looks like at first, had that been successful, had Trump been shot, there was indications that they had a story ready to pin it on Iran. As in, they were sort of like, we're trying to pin the bank accounts or the phones that he had on Iran, which are still not explained. Like, what 21-year-old, 22-year-old guy has no social media presence, that the CIA and the NSA can't hack his phones? That like, that's bullshit.
I heard there was something that came out. I don't remember where I saw it, but I heard there was something where they were able to track the location, or NSA was able to track the location of a phone that was a part of the household he was in that visited an FBI place a couple weeks before.
It wasn't the household he was in, is that he had gone to a weird bowling alley and had what looks like a meeting when you track cell phone data, and a few other, like, there's not just government agencies, there's also dudes on Twitter that apparently have access to this cell phone data. Lots of people are tracking it. And yeah, he had what looks a lot like a meeting, like sit down in a spot for like 1.5 hours or whatever it is. I'm just kind of fudging numbers here, next to another device that then they both leave. And that device went to
All right. Thank you guys for the likes. Sorry, I had to put a roast in the oven. I had went to work earlier. That's why I was late to live stream today. And yeah, there's a roast that has to be cooked by today, like actually today. Yeah. So much love to you guys. Thank you for likes. Let's try and get 6 more beautiful people. 6 more beautiful people. So you need to double tap that screen. Let's get the likes up. Usually, today's an off day. Usually we have at least 500 people in here consistently. So we're a little bit off. So do what you can to get us in the algorithm. Much love.
Like right next to FBI HQ.
Right.
Which is just indications. It's like all very suspicious. And the fact that he's able to get there, like people are seeing him. There's plainclothes officers that are clearly where everyone is pointing. Like there's a video that one of the first ones that came out, everyone's like filming him and like, look, there's a guy on the roof.
Yeah.
And then in the other videos that came out more recently, you can see plainclothes officers with guns drawn come around the building once the shots have been fired from that direction where all those people were that were pointing at this guy. So there's just all these elements that point to like, this does not add up. And just the fact that it's suspicious, not necessarily saying you know what it is or what happened, but the fact that what they're telling us is suspicious, aligned with the fact that it looked like there was a story prepared about Iran, which would be very logical. I mean, Bibi just happened to have a speech to Congress scheduled for the next week.
Right.
And he still, during that speech, ran with this he basically said in that speech that Iran tried to assassinate Trump, that
well, it's convenient.
Very convenient. And I mean, maybe it's a coincidence. I don't know. But I can't think of any country that establishment, the sort of like Western Israeli CIA democratic establishment, would rather have than war with Iran right now. And so when whatever happened got botched in whatever way it got botched, you start to see what also looks a lot like other botched, like for lack of a better term, deep state operations of the past. And another one I've been looking into is the Vegas one.
There's millions of ways to build your fantasy companies.
Yeah.
I wonder how much. I had this guy on here a couple weeks ago, John Kiriakou, who was he was a whistleblower against the torture program.
Jumping to when they talk about Israel.
For the CIA. He was he worked for the CIA for 20 something years. And then they eventually put him in prison for blowing the whistle on the torture stuff.
Classic.
And he dealt with the Mossad a lot during his career. And he told me that at one point he learned that Israel or the Mossad has over 200. There's a difference when you have an agent in a country, right? Like we have CIA, it's in Israel.
4 more beautiful people listening. Double tap that screen. Let's get the likes up with the amount of people in here. Much love to everybody, man.
And Israel has Mossad that's here. But there's a difference between declared and undeclared officers.
Yeah.
He said they have over 200 undeclared officers in the U.S.
Oh, I bet it's
so why?
Infinitely more than that.
This was in the 90s.
Yeah. So huge rabbit hole here. But Israel has always had an insane amount of spies in the U.S. and has been subverting the U.S. ever since they were founded. And that's everything from they literally stole nuclear weapons from us and built a secret nuclear facility that John F. Kennedy was trying to audit and shut down, by the way. They did that with some of the most famous technological leaks of all time, all the way up to Jonathan Pollard, the Promise software scandal, right up to 9/11. A lot of people don't know that before 9/11, there's this whole document called the Israeli Art Students DEA files. You ever heard about those? So you can find them on the internet. If you search things like DEA files, Israeli art students.
Can you look that up, Steve?
You can probably find it. And it's a report written by the DEA. And what was happening is,
welcome in, Mac, and much love.
In 2000 and 2001.
Hit the subscribe button, hit the subscribe button, notification bell, and double tap that screen. Welcome to the See Me Now family. We're on the road to 10K subs.
There is all these government agencies were reporting. Yeah, all those are it. And what they were doing is they at first no one realized what was happening because there was these people walking into the DEA office in whatever in Orlando, Florida.
Yeah.
And they were saying hi, I'm an art student from Israel representing this university and I would like to sell you some art. Are you interested in looking at any art? Is there anyone I can show this art to? It's why the fuck are you in the DEA's office? Or any other government building? They were just going to all these government buildings posing as Israeli art students trying to sell art. And as they started to report it up the chain realized that this was happening all.
Welcome in, Chris Britt. Welcome in, everybody. Make sure you guys double tap that screen, show some love and support, man. On the road to 10,000 subs. We're under 200 away, of 7,000. So much love to you guys. Welcome in. Welcome to the family.
All across America.
It says Tampa.
Yeah.
All
All across America.
The DEA Tampa has revealed much information relating to these individuals. DEA agents in Tampa District Office questioned the team leader of a group of 9 individuals at length. The team leader stated that he purchases the paintings for $8 to $10 from an individual in Hollywood, Fort Lauderdale, Florida area. What the?
That's all a cover story, though. That's all just made up bullshit.
Okay.
And so the thing about this document is it's actually super lengthy and it's really hard to get to the bottom of what it is if you don't read the whole thing. But what it is it's all across America in 2000 and 2001. Israel was running, the Mossad was running
So when you guys listen to stuff like this, it is so fucking scary to think about the fact that there could be agents and sleeper cells and a bunch of intelligence assets across America. Like, you don't even know who you're talking to. Like, it's pretty scary. I'm not gonna lie. It's crazy to think about, and it's not just Israel that could have them here either. So
running a massive surveillance campaign on all of our government buildings, and this was their cover, was Israeli art students, and they were using it to gain access to the buildings and then to surveil the buildings, to skim down blueprints. A lot of these people were actually ex like Israeli intelligence that had backgrounds in explosive experts, in surveillance technology and wiring, just things that like go into that building. And
were they wiring these paintings and trying to sell them to them?
I don't think so. No, maybe. It's hard to say. Like, we don't know entirely, because a lot of them, like, once they started to get caught, they would change their stories around a lot. Some of them got stopped and interviewed a lot. But they never really could act on it a whole lot. Oh, Wikispooks is a whole rabbit hole.
Wikispooks?
Do you know about Wikispooks?
No.
Oh, you're gonna love it, dude.
Oh
Wikispooks is Wikipedia for fucking tinfoil hat conspiracy theorists, and it is the coolest resource. And it's a link just like you would think. The best one to start on is 9/11 Wikispooks, because it's the most like complete.
Oh,
it's
no,
not.
I clicked on that.
It doesn't have everything, and it's certainly
9/11
like,
Israel did it.
Yeah. So you have to obviously double check everything that's on Wikispooks thoroughly.
No,
but it is a really fun resource to get you going, because it's like.
By the way, if you guys ever want to just get down and read some crazy shit, Wikispooks is the place, man.
Nothing's held back. It's all there, and it's all linked, and it's not all true, but it is actually a really cool. It's just so much fun. But
right, it's the opposite of Wikipedia, basically. It's
exactly, because Wikipedia is all controlled.
They hold back all the fun stuff. Where if you're on Wikispooks, you're like, hold on, you're going the other direction now. You're like, hold on, you guys are going way too far with this,
and you wind up somewhere in the middle. Yeah. But anyways, the Israeli art students is just an obvious example of like massive Mossad spying on the U.S. And it's like. The Mossad has this other unique.
It's not about the DEA getting involved with art. It was Israeli Mossad intelligence agents posing as college art students, going to DEA and other intelligence agencies around the country, taking in blueprints, looking at where their surveillance is at, and putting the information back to their country. That's what he was just saying. So if you weren't caught up in knowing that, then that's what's been going on. Pretty crazy to think that, you know. But yeah, it's like, you know, art, they're selling art. That's like the dumbest way to try and infiltrate. Why not like say, hey, we're from Boy Scouts. Anyone want cookies? And some of the agents might be like, yeah, come on into the building. And here's John in the left wing. And here's Stacy in the right. And yeah, just come through the whole building. That would be like more like, you know, fucking, I don't know.
Angle that is kind of hard to talk about because the CIA has to recruit members, right? They have to recruit and then send you out, or at the very best, like you already have this, you know, you've got this tech company and they can approach you and be like, yo, you want to like work together for whatever reason, but you have to have an incentive that'll make a person want to work with the CIA. And then you also have to worry, like if you're going up to this Russian businessman and trying to get him to like work for the CIA, you have to also worry that he's actually going to play you and actually be working for KGB or something like that. There's all these complicated things you have to consider if you're going to run intelligence ops. But Mossad has this other angle.
If you're in here, make sure you guys double tap that screen, hit the subscribe button. I appreciate you joining or sharing your Sunday with me. Again, I'm not going to be on much longer, but I'm going to be on late tonight at about 8. We're going to be live for about 3-4 hours. So make sure you guys hop in. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button with notification bell so you can get notified when I go live tonight. Much love to you guys.
And
we're getting major upgrades to the studio, you guys. There's going to be a lot better things like the camera quality, the mic quality. Everything's going to be getting better. I like this mic right now, so we're going to keep it for a while, but I will be switching to Shure here soon. So much love to you guys.
They represent the Jewish state, and
we're growing fast. I mean, if you look at my growth and on my videos and like the last 7 days, the last 28, like this whole month, I got damn near 1 million views. So yeah, we're running it up.
Represent the only hope for the Jewish people, like by sort of the Israeli narrative, right? And so Jews all around the world have this inherent like trained religious incentive to support Israel. And so it's a difficult thing to talk about because it's easy for it to sound like you're saying all Jews are in on some global conspiracy, which is not what I'm saying.
Right.
What I'm saying,
Jews.
Right. It's the Jews. What I'm saying is that Jews are inherently incentivized to help Israel out, unless you don't support Israel. And
there are Jewish people and non-Jewish people who convert to Judaism who come from like England, America, other Arab countries, and they'll come and either convert, or if they're already Jewish, they go there and they serve for the IDF. There's this one guy, I wonder if I can't find the video. This guy who goes on like Omegle found this guy who was in the IDF, and you could tell that he, like, when he said, "Have you killed anyone?" and he like kind of alluded to it, but he was like sick. I mean, you listen to that interview and it's kind of sick. Maybe I'll see if I can't find it while we're watching this.
Lots of Jews that
There's
don't
tons
support
of them
Israel.
who don't
And
support it.
badass guys, you're saving the world. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Stand up for those guys. They need our support. But that's just my bias.
There's a
coming through.
huge difference between people that are Jewish and Netanyahu and his Warhawks.
Yeah, Zionists and all that. But all you need to do is find, one of them, like Leslie Wexner, like, Leon Black, like whatever. And so not all Zionists even are Jewish, but they have this pool of Zionists around the world that when the Mossad approaches a Zionist, there is way more incentive for that person to work with Mossad than if CIA was approaching some random person. And because of the nature of Judaism, Judaism is dispersed across countries and cultures. Judaism is not local to a region. It's not local to a country.
Right.
Judaism is already decentralized. And so the Mossad has this angle that leads to the, like, notice how many people are Jewish, which is like, yeah, that is kind of racist, but like there is an angle where you have to consider it because the mafia is all run by Italians for a reason, right? Organized crime has always been organized around blood because blood is the strongest tie that binds. Blood is the number one thing you can trust. And if you're going to run organized crime
if you guys all have a religion in common and, family in common, you're not going to betray each other. And Mac, and yeah, they are sellouts. I mean, it was crazy how the guy from England was like, "No, that's my homeland. I went to my homeland to defend it," and blah 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 blah. And then the guy was like, "Bro, you were born in England, you live in England. Your homeland is not Israel. Israel isn't even like a homeland for the people who are in there. It's called occupied land. It's an occupied nation. It's an it's an ethno state. Like, it's why would you want to go to there versus being in England or America? I mean, but like you said, they all have these strong incentives and ties in their heart and their minds that they need to go help serve and do all this stuff. But to me, it's like crazy. If you're in England, why are you going to go down there? To me, it's like you just must be a psychopath and want to like kill people, right? Allegedly, I should say.
an intelligence agency, you damn well better be able to trust everybody. Because if one guy gets caught and he rats you out, you're fucked. And when someone gets caught, they're very incentivized to rat you out because they could be looking at life in prison or a sweetheart deal where they disappear on an island and they're totally fine. They just have to rat you out. So you need this like incentive to keep everyone together. And that's why organized crime has always been organized around races and religions, because that's the best you can get. And it works really well. And historically in America, the two most powerful were the mafia, Italian, and the mob, Jewish. And so when you're like investigating the Italian mafia and you walk into a business and everyone in there is Italian, is it racist to be like, okay, this might be a mafia establishment?
All right, I found the video. So if you want me to show the video of that guy, Hazin, whatever his name is, or Hanza, his name is, debating that IDF soldier that was from England, let me know. Put one in the chat for now. I'll keep this playing.
Right. And so in the exact same way, when you're investigating Jeffrey Epstein and you're like, okay, every single person in this network is Jewish. And he's like clearly working with Ehud Barak, the ex-prime minister of Israel. And he's clear, like Les Wexner is one of the most influential, like globalist Zionist Jews in the world. And like everything about Jeffrey Epstein's network is Jewish through and through and through and through and through. And that's part of why we know he was Mossad. But
all right, we'll continue this video in a second. Let's go with that one. I kind of like this guy, Hanza. He does a good job at kind of, he's just kind of good at getting these guys in a debate. So, all right, let's go ahead. Sorry.
Hi, where are you from?
I'm from Israel. Where are you from?
Oh, I'm from Palestine.
Oh, wow, that's nice.
What do you think about Palestine?
What do I think, generally? I mean, what do you mean? What do you mean, what do I think about Palestine?
Like, what do you think about what Israel is doing to Gaza right now with the genocide?
The genocide? No, it's a war. It's a war. Very complicated war.
I mean, they're children. What do you think about that?
I think it's terrible.
Okay, that's a good start.
I've been there during the war. I've been in Gaza, I think, since 1988.
All right, this is where it gets interesting. So he moved Israel like from England a while ago. I don't know. It is what it is, but let's listen. This is interesting.
On off during my
I'll
army.
put it on a little bit
service.
faster.
Where are you
Go back.
originally from? Where are you originally from?
London, England.
And you're in Israel now? How long have you been in Israel for?
38 years.
Okay, so you're a war criminal?
I'm
Welcome in, Danielle. Welcome
Yeah.
in.
Like, yeah, I mean, did you go to Israel to be a
I'm
war
only gonna be
criminal?
live for about another 25 minutes.
I don't
and then I'm
understand.
gonna
You
go
lost
live
me.
again.
You said you
I'm only gonna be live for another 25 minutes. Welcome back in, Danielle. And I am gonna go live again later tonight for a while when my kids are asleep. I can kind of go live now. I have to get up on my chair and whatever. So much love to you guys. Let's continue.
were in Gaza in the 80s, right?
Yeah, that's right. 80s, 90s. Yeah.
Yeah, so did you go to Israel to be a war criminal? I mean, that was illegally occupied territory.
Oh, I see. Very clever. No. I came to basically be with my people, to be with the Jewish people, the Israeli people, the Zionist people, and
For
38 years.
Okay, so you're a war criminal?
I'm a war criminal.
Yeah.
Am I?
Yeah, I mean, did you go to Israel to be a war criminal?
To be a war? What? I don't understand. You've lost me.
You said you were in Gaza in the 80s, right?
Yeah, that's right. 80s, 90s. Yeah.
Yeah, so did you go to Israel to be a war criminal? I mean, that was illegally occupied territory.
Oh, I see. Very clever. No. I came to basically be with my people, to be with the Jewish people, the Israeli people, the Zionist people, and do my part to help my country. Where do you live? It says you live in America. That must be a mistake.
No, I do live in America. But so you're a war criminal just on the side, or what do you mean? Because you were on illegally occupied territory.
I'm not a war criminal. No, my service was very meaningful, was very good.
Now, what were you doing in Gaza? Did you kill any Palestinians while you were illegally there?
I prefer not to answer, but this was many years ago. It was very different. Can I ask you a question?
Really? So part of the people you killed, were they children?
No, not at all. No.
Okay, but you killed Palestinians.
Palestinian.
You killed one person?
I think so, as far as I know, yeah.
As far as you know. So how were you?
I think so, as far as I know. I mean, what the fuck, dude? This guy's crazy. And a lot of the guys that this guy talks to, go check out his channel. It's Hanza. I'll show it at the end of this video, but he wrecks these people. All these people he talks to on Omegle are like fucking brainwashed and crazy. Like, it's just wild.
You killing them? Were you killing them in ways that you couldn't count the bodies? You couldn't get the death count?
Not at all.
So how do you think you just killed one person? I mean, and what other ways would you accidentally kill anyone? Were you bombing them? What were you trying to do?
Bombing them? No. I was on the ground. I wasn't in the Air Force. No, I wasn't bombing anybody.
So you do understand that your service in Gaza was illegal, right? Do you understand that your service in general, while in Gaza, was illegal? Whatever you did in Gaza was illegal. Like, regardless of what you actually did over there, was illegal. Simply your presence on the ground was a war crime, and once again, is illegal.
Tell me, can I ask you a question, please?
Go right ahead. But what you did was illegal. I just want to ask if you acknowledge that.
I don't, because as far as an Israeli, I came to the land of Israel legally, and everything I've done in my life has been, I don't think I've ever done anything illegal. I might have jumped a few red traffic lights. I think that's about it. My life has always been, as far as an Israeli goes, completely illegal. If you see it as illegal, that's a whole different thing.
You coming to Israel legally does not matter. Your presence in Gaza was an occupying power on illegally occupied land. That is illegal.
Carry on. Yeah, my question is, I'm being completely serious now. You got out of bed on the 7th of October, 2023. You opened you watched the news and you saw what was happening. What did you think was going to happen afterwards?
I mean, I thought immediately that there would be a response for sure, and that Israel would use what Hamas did as an excuse to level Gaza to the ground. 80% of it is leveled to the ground. I thought personally, you asked me for my answer. I'm giving you my answer. If you want to interrupt me, then I'm not going to answer. Good.
Carry on. I apologize.
Good boy. I thought the other Arab countries would help. Okay, diplomatically, materially, whatever. I thought the other Arab countries would have our back, but they didn't. That was the surprising part. But what I did know was that Israel was going to use what Hamas did as an excuse to level Gaza to the ground and to bomb hospitals, to bomb refugee camps, to bomb civilian infrastructure, to kill 30,000 children, because that's exactly what they did. The death count isn't 30, nearly 30,000 children have been killed at this point.
Where's the number from?
The Gaza Health Ministry, the UN, the numbers coming out of the ground. These are registered numbers. There are names to every single one of these children.
I've heard there are thousands and thousands of children under the rubble.
There are.
So where's the number? So where's the number from?
No, those are in addition to the 20 to 30,000.
Oh, very good. I understand. Okay.
Yes. It's probably way more than just 20 to 30,000. The numbers I'm giving right now are just confirmed numbers.
Your name's Hamza, yeah?
Okay.
Okay, so I think we should, first of all, when we talk about children, we should speak about 13 and under. I saw a 14-year-old kid with an RPG on his shoulder.
First of all, whether that's true or not does not give you the right to kill children and to bomb hospitals and refugees. You're just trying to just. No, it doesn't. The average age of those killed in Gaza that are children are between the ages 5 and 9.
Change your average, because start from 14 and under. Your average is up to 18. We both know you're an intelligent guy.
You're not listening to me. You're not listening to me.
You're not listening to me. The average, the numbers are right.
The average age of those killed in Gaza that are children are between the ages 5 and 9. That is the largest group of those that were killed in Gaza. Okay, ages 5 through 9. 5-year-olds are not carrying machine guns.
If you see a 14-year-old Israeli with an RPG, wait a minute and let me speak.
No, because the largest group is ages 5 through 9. You're running away from the fact that you're deflecting.
You see a 14-year-old child with an RPG on his shoulder, aiming towards your house. You shoot him, or do you say he's a kid? You shoot him, of course you shoot him.
They're still a child. That is morally bankrupt. They're still a child. By any stretch of international law and basic human decency, they are a child.
Would you shoot him, yes or no?
No, they are a child. No, I would not shoot a child. I would not kill a child.
Very, very shitty person.
I'm a shitty person for not killing a child. The average age is 5 through 9. I don't know why you're running away from that. But wait, hold on. You would kill a child? You would kill a child? I guess what? You would kill a child?
Yes. Depends on the situation. A 5-year-old child.
I guess we know what you were doing in Gaza. You child. You were speaking from experience. You fascist.
Yes.
You're a fascist, dude. How do you live with yourself? How do you live with yourself? You came from London to come and Palestinian children.
This child, 14 years old, RPG on his shoulder.
This is not reality. This is also not reality, by the way. This is not reality. You're bombing children that weren't even born yet. People in women's wombs, in mothers' wombs. Children, babies, newborns. You are bombing children. They're not holding RPGs. Maybe you saw a kid with an RPG, but he wasn't aiming at anyone other than the soldiers who invaded their home and the tanks and the IDFs. You said it was in Gaza. There are no Israeli mothers in Gaza. There are no Israeli kids in Gaza.
I'm talking about the early 90s. There were Israeli families in Gaza, dumbass.
That were there, and they were there illegally, dumbass, under international law. The Israeli kids.
Welcome in, Sid. Sorry, I'm just munching right now. Make sure you guys double tap that screen. And I hope you're having a good day. Much love to everybody who's in here. Mackin, I agree, he should not be allowed back in the UK. But unfortunately, Israel is the only country that, especially in the United States, where they can have dual citizenship like right off the rip. So he shouldn't be allowed back there. I agree. But welcome in, Sid. Welcome in, Danielle and Mackin, for all being in here, showing some love and support. Later, hopefully tonight when we get on, like I'm getting off here soon, but hopefully tonight we get in the algorithm.
Kids and mothers were being killed by Palestinians. They were there illegally. You were there illegally. You are dehumanizing us. You are dehumanizing us. You don't see them as human.
A kid with an RPG, I would only kill him. I see absolutely no difference between him being 14 or him being 30.
That's just inhumane. That is inhumane. Yeah, that's just inhumane. What about 10? What about 9? What about 5?
RPG on his shoulder?
What about a baby? Yeah, what about a baby with an RPG on his shoulder? Yeah.
Absolutely. No question. Absolutely.
When Israel goes to the ICJ, you will be judged for crimes. You specifically. I don't know how old you are, but I hope it's soon. You are admitting everything.
I'm almost 57.
You're 57?
Almost, yeah. Do you want my phone number so they can call me to bring me to court? How does it work?
Yeah, tell me. Sure. Yeah, what's your phone number?
I'll tell you in a minute. Just write it down.
No.
Yeah.
What's your full name? What's your full name?
My full name? Why do you want my...
You are justifying killing kids. And for the record, all of these kids were not kids. How many were carrying RPGs? You saw one. How many? 100? 200? Almost 30,000 kids were killed.
Can you prove 30,000 children have died? I know better than you, and you can't argue with me. I've been there. I've been with them.
You know better than me. Yeah. If you know better than me, then why the hell have Hamas's numbers in every single quote-unquote war? They've been historically accurate throughout all major conflicts like this. So why now is it wrong suddenly?
Why do you think they're historically accurate?
Because they are after every single quote-unquote war that ensued.
How do you know that?
Because they were verified by the UN. People went on the ground after the quote-unquote wars were over, and by the IDF numbers as well. Israel comes out with these numbers. They counted on the ground. I'm talking about 2008. I'm talking about 2012. I'm talking about 2014, 2018, 2021.
All right, I'm done munching, you guys. My bad. But I'm going to get off here in a minute. We're going to, after this video, and I will be back on later. So make sure you guys have your notification bells hit and join me when I go live later. Again, it's 3 o'clock for me right now. I'm going to go live about 8:30. So maybe 9 at the latest. But we'll be on for a long time then. Much love to you guys.
Every time there's a major escalation like this, they count the numbers. They release numbers. Israel.
I agree, Mackin. I mean, they're on a straight up freaking they're occupying Palestine. That's what they're doing. And yeah, it's like people want to sit there and say like, "Oh, this kid had a gun," blah 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 blah. Blah. Bro, they got guns and stuff like that because you've been occupying their lands for forever, and that's what they've been teaching them. Unfortunately, kid soldiers aren't anything new. Doesn't mean that every single citizen from Palestine is a part of a militia or wants to fight back or wants to. You're killing thousands and thousands of civilians and probably hundreds of fighters. You know what I'm saying? Like the ratio ain't ratioing to me.
Went in the IDF and they counted the numbers, and it was always historically accurate.
I don't believe the numbers. I don't think they're accurate. Saying they're accurate doesn't make them accurate.
But you're not listening. But you're not listening to me. You're not listening to me. In every major conflict in 2012, 2014, 2018, 2021, 2008, right? The IDF, Israel, they went onto the ground and they counted the numbers, right? It's verified by third parties even, and they were accurate to Hamas's numbers. If not, in some cases, Hamas even reported like a little lower than what the numbers actually ended up being when third parties went on the ground. So why suddenly are they wrong for this one?
They're not suddenly wrong. I think they've always been wrong.
But I just told you they've been verified by third parties. People went onto the ground and they counted.
You've been verified as being very good looking. I look like a piece of shit. I don't believe a word. I don't believe it. I don't know if you're lying or you're taking their lies, but I don't believe it.
So
you know what?
So Israel's lying?
Israel's lying? Why is Israel lying? Israel has said 30,000 children? Don't think so.
Because you're saying you don't believe me in the public records, in the reports of 2008, 2012, 2014, 2018.
I'm talking about now 30,000.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you heard me correct, well, if you heard me, then you would have heard. Well, if you heard me, you would have heard I said 2008, 2012, 2014, 2018, 2021.
I have no idea. I'm not going to lie.
Okay, but you just told me they were not. You
guys know how many wars Israel is in right now? Do you guys know? Let alone almost starting a major conflict when they bombed Qatar. Does anyone know? And this is one guy who's a perfect example of people who think like him. When you come across them, when you debate them, this is exactly what they say every time. This is exactly how they act. At this point, Aiden Ross is the only good one I know. I don't even know if he's good, but hey, man. You want 7 chocolates, my girl? That's crazy. No, they're in 7 wars. For real, Mackin. Usually I have like minimum over 100 in here. And I think it's late because usually I go live at 1. But later tonight when I go live, I usually hit the algorithm too. But yeah, usually I have like 400 to 500 in here at a time. Fuck, the best days I have is like over 1,000. I mean, these past streams, I've gotten so many people in here, and we've been running it up so much. It's been insane. So that's why it's like today, days like today when it's slow and there's not much people in here. I'm like, yeah, I don't mind. You're not gonna win every time, you know. You're not gonna get in the algorithm every stream. So. But yeah, we're just gonna finish a little bit more of this video. I'm gonna get off. So guys, make sure you have the subscribe button hit with the notification bell so you can be in every live and join me tonight where we run it up.
You just told me they were not historically accurate, and now you're backing out because I just told you Israel confirmed those numbers.
Yeah, I'm talking about now the 30,000 children. I think the number is absolutely ridiculous. Hamas are going to bullshit numbers.
Based on what? These are bullshit numbers based on what? Based on your feelings?
Every time Israel have bombed, as you said, schools and hospitals and mosques, they always do their best to evacuate these places first. So the number makes no sense at all. I've been there.
That's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about the evacuation orders, which, by the way, they evacuate people to quote unquote safe zones, which they bomb as well. But we're talking about we are talking about the validity of the numbers. We are not talking about the evacuation orders.
That's what I'm saying. The numbers aren't the.
All right, this one's getting boring, bro. We're gonna do this one. Hold on. We are gonna do this one because I'd rather watch Myron right now. I'm probably not gonna get monetized again. Because everything I say and how I say the truth, and I really don't give a fuck. I've already been called a Nazi a million times. You know, so yeah, I'm used to it at this point. I mean, I've been demonetized for forever, so right. Makes sense. Yeah, get it, girl. All right, much love to everybody, man. Let's run this up. I love when Myron debates. Myron is so intelligent when it comes to foreign policy. Everything else that has to do with history and the government. I mean, this guy is awesome. Right next to Nick for me, man.
The proportion of what Israel's doing is actually pretty good. Now, it's a very hard situation because Hamas is very much embedded in Gaza. They have tunnels who run since 2005. They've been building tunnels under Gaza. All everybody here should know is that Hamas took babies hostage.
Bro, I want to see these tunnels. Like, how did Hamas build tunnels? Like, with spoons and forks and fucking shovels and spades? Like, did they have bulldoze? Like, how? What? Have we seen the tunnels yet? That's just my question. I just would like to know.
Does anybody disagree with that?
The very terrorism that you guys condemn for your asymmetrical warfare that you use to justify killing kids is the same terrorism that you guys utilize to create the state of Israel. And this is what I mean when I say Israelis don't value Palestinian life. They only value Israeli life. On one end, you're making a big deal of babies taken hostage, which is deplorable. But then when I tell you, well, there's babies getting bombed over here, you don't care. The floor is yours. Go ahead.
Bro, I was watching people pick up baby body parts after there were missiles that hit. It's fucking sad. Not only that, but Gaza doesn't have shelters. Like, whenever they're talking about, oh, they came over here, they killed babies. Well, your government allowed that to happen, allegedly. Should I say that? Because you had intelligence. You're telling me that you didn't have the intelligence it was going to happen, and it's kind of proven that you did. There's one fact. Then another fact is you use that as an excuse to go just indiscriminately bomb these people when they don't have, any sort of bomb shelter. You guys get these bomb shelters that were built exclusively for you to go in, and that's what was happening when Iran was whooping you, right? When Iran was whooping you guys and you guys were trying to hide it through the media, you guys at least had bomb shelters. People in Gaza and Palestine, they don't. Well, we send leaflets. You might say that you're not going to bomb here, and you're going to bomb here, so evacuate, and you bomb both places. Like, what? This is just wild.
Can you tell me what the study was that you referenced before, the 377,000 from Harvard?
Sure. So this information came out from Harvard about a week or two ago. And what they basically did was they figured out that because right now it's about 50,000 confirmed, right? But that doesn't account for all the people that are missing. And that's obviously very feasible because they've been bombing Gaza significantly and there's a lot of people under the rubble. So they've estimated somewhere around 337,000 total that are missing.
Who's they?
Or confirmed dead. Well, it comes from.
You don't know who they is?
You're talking about the health ministry of
no,
Hamas?
that's not who did that
Gaza?
study. That's wrong.
Okay,
so I want everybody to listen to this right now.
Sure, go ahead, buddy.
The study that he is referencing is not a study from Harvard University. It's part of a database that's run by Harvard. It's not done by Harvard. And the actual person who did that study has said the data has been misinterpreted. So if he is speaking that confidently without knowing what he is talking about, can you really trust anything that he has to say? Look, there's room for debate on Palestine and Gaza. There is room to debate if Israel's war strategy is justified or not. But when someone sits down, they should know what they're talking about before they spout that kind of dishonest propaganda. What you said about the study is absolutely wrong. It is stunning that you can sit there with that much confidence and not even know the most basic facts about it.
You know what's interesting?
It's not from the Gaza Health Ministry. It's not from Harvard. You said both those things. Based on that,
said it was run by
nobody.
Did you not just say it was run by Harvard?
No, I didn't say it was run by Harvard. It was on a Harvard data repository. I'm not making any claims about
Harvard.
Hold on. No,
That's
it's not.
Harvard, buddy.
That's not the way.
That is Harvard.
If it's by Harvard, it means that Harvard researchers would publish the study.
Dude, this guy sounds like a complete imbecile, brother.
It was not published by Harvard researchers. I am not telling you guys to believe anything in terms of what the numbers are. Although the Gaza Health Ministry says 50,000, there's debates about the numbers. I'm saying that what he's saying is wrong, and that should put that what he is saying in jeopardy. It should make you doubt it. He's sitting here spewing it like he knows what he's talking about. He does not know what he's talking about. Look it out. It's absolutely wrong. It was two Israeli researchers, and the Israeli... Hold on. And the Israeli researchers said that the data was misinterpreted. Again, there's room for debate on this subject. This person doesn't know what he's talking about. I guarantee you he will not play this on his video.
No, we're live right now, actually.
Okay, that's great. That's great to hear. Look, I'm saying to everybody right now, there's room for debate, but we have to be smart about this. You must ask what his sources are. You must use the Socratic method, back him down, because he does not know what he is talking about. Just right here on a study that he sourced,
can I respond
he is
now?
absolutely wrong. Yeah, go ahead.
Can I respond? Okay, no, so this is a good tactic. I actually like what you're doing here.
The tactic is honesty.
No. What you're doing here is you're playing on words and you're saying, well,
I'm not playing on words.
Bro, I let you speak.
Go ahead.
I let you speak.
You're right, you did.
So what you're doing is you're focusing on a minutia detail and trying to say that the totality of what I'm saying isn't true. But the reality is simply this. You're focusing on quarters when I'm talking about $100 bills in the grand scheme of things. You're stepping over $100 bills to pick up quarters. Now let's go ahead and have it, because you said there's room for debate, right?
Absolutely.
Let's have that debate. So you're attacking, oh, it's not Harvard, it's Harvard run or whatever. Let's deal with the overall reality.
I know he really thought he was gonna get on on my radio, and I was like, nah, we live right now. What are you talking about?
We know that there's roughly 2 million plus people that live in Gaza, 2.3 roughly, right? And we know that 50,000 have been confirmed. Israel estimates somewhere around 15 to 20,000 have been Hamas fighters. So at best case for Israel, you've killed 30,000 innocent people. At best case, okay? That's indefensible. So if we want to go ahead and go on Harvard and there was Harvard run, so it wasn't really Harvard, we're focusing on things that don't really matter. The reality is you guys drop bombs on kids. And if you want to go ahead and try to minimize it and say it's not 300,000, it's only 30,000. Well, let me ask you this. You guys have been bombing several Middle Eastern countries, over 1,200 Israelis. So tell me who's really the evil person here. And it gets even better.
Take your time. Take your time.
Yeah, I just want to make sure everybody can hear. So the 1,200 Israelis, let's go ahead and dissect that number because everything stems from October 7th. So we need to analyze October 7th, right? On October 7th, roughly 1,200 Israelis were killed. Would you agree with that?
I would agree.
Okay. Roughly 400 of those people were IDF soldiers. According to international law, that makes them enemy combatants. Fair game. Now, let me be clear about this. I actually value Israeli life. I want Israelis to live and I don't want them to die. I'm a big proponent of peace. This is why I'm anti-war. But the problem here is that Israelis don't value life to the same degree of the Palestinians. Now, with that said, roughly 400 were killed. That leaves us with about 800. Now, this is where things get weird. We know that there was a music festival, and we know that there was a lot of pandemonium on that day. We also know, according to Yoav Gallant, your defense minister, that something called the Hannibal Directive was activated on that day. For those of you guys that aren't aware, the Hannibal Directive is a directive that the Israeli government employs whenever there's an attack where they are authorized to kill IDF soldiers and or Israeli citizens. Now, I know someone's going to say, well, no, it's only for IDF soldiers. Well, guess what? In Israel, mandatory service is required with IDF.
You said a lot of things.
No, hold on.
You said a lot of different things.
Let me finish because I really need to explain this because
but it's many different subjects. I need to respond to one thing
Sure,
at a time.
sure. But this is for the audience. This is for the audience because
So you don't want to hear my answers?
No, I will hear.
You keep changing the subject.
My friend,
with lots of different.
you got to understand that the people that are here listening might not know.
Let me respond to what you've said.
The guy does not understand to just shut up and let him finish, and he must not have the brain capacity to remember everything he's saying because he has a fucking shit ton of people around him, and he's trying to make sure the audience understands. Kind of like what I have to do in here. He knows nothing about making content and having debate.
So far,
hold on. I'm going to wrap up right now.
Sure.
So that leaves us with 800 people. We know that the Hannibal Directive was activated that day. This has been confirmed by Yoav Gallant and Israeli media. So in other words, we don't know how many people Hamas killed versus how many people the IDF killed. That's very important because Israel's bombing campaign is not proportionate to the amount of Israelis that were killed by Hamas. I'll turn it to you.
Okay, there's a few different things here, and thank you for that answer. Look, the first thing I want to point out is that when he says you guys did it, I'm not.
He's like subtly nice and then subtly mean. Like, you don't let me finish. But he's like, okay, I appreciate your answer. Like, what the fuck?
Not Israeli.
My
I'm
boy.
American. Jewish people can be American too. The second thing is he made this what I see as a nonsensical analogy in terms of apples and oranges kind of thing. I want to go back to the study itself. It wasn't just some small thing. He said the study was from Harvard. It wasn't. And the actual researchers of the study said that the data had been misinterpreted. So let's just put that out of the way. In terms of the actual number of Palestinians who have died, look, it is a subject I want to be very sensitive about because it is horrific, the death that has taken place in Gaza.
What do you estimate it to be?
Hold on.
What do you estimate it to be?
I would follow. Look, I would follow the IDF's answer. But let's go with the Gaza Health Ministry's answer combined with exactly the stats you took. Let's just go with that.
I'm going off Israel.
No, I know. I'm saying let's go with your numbers.
Yeah,
let's go with your numbers.
Yeah, Israel said
Let me
50K.
finish.
Yeah.
Okay, so look, the deaths in Gaza are horrific. No doubt about it. But can you name for me an urban war where there has been a better proportion of soldiers to civilians who have died? And that's, by the way, that's saying that we can't even really determine how many people have been Hamas. You can let me go on my points because you did all your points, okay? Now, every urban warfare expert that I know says that actually Israel's proportion of civilians to death is pretty good. Now, you can deny that. You can say, for instance, John Spencer, he's a pro-Israel guy.
Bro, what is he talking about? Like, what? You have IDF soldiers pushing the line, and you're indiscriminately bombing. Like, what are you talking about? The best ratio? I don't even think we've seen anything like this since the H situation, right? And to me, this is another H, but instead the Palestinians are the J's, right? I don't know.
But look, he's an urban warfare expert at West Point, and that's what he says, that the proportion is good. Andrew Fox as well. So they actually say that that it's actually an efficient war. But I don't want to make light of civilian deaths in Gaza, but that's not to say that what people here should know. You can disagree with what Israel's doing in Gaza. You can disagree with the war, but let's make sure to know that Israel isn't just dropping bombs without doing anything. Israel actually has an entire process they go through before they drop any bombs in Israel. Again, you can still disagree with it, but Israel does more than just drop leaflets. They triangulate the area, they monitor the amount of citizens going in and out, and then they try to issue military operations based on what international law says. So in other words, if a certain amount of civilians are seen going in and out of an area or in and out of a house, they won't issue the strike. But yes, if the civilians are under a certain number, then they will. It all has to do with sort of a determination based on what international law says. So you could disagree with the war, but Israel, they're not just wantonly bombing. They are doing a calculation. They are trying to monitor things. They are dropping leaflets. They are trying to warn.
Bro, you act like your Prime Minister Netanyahu isn't under investigation by the ICC, who's going to be prosecuted eventually for war crimes, right? And then you act like there's not fucking videos on Twitter of them like blindly bombing places. So, what? This is straight out of the Hezbollah talking point book.
Civilians, they are trying to move civilians out of the way. And again, urban warfare experts have written articles on something. They say that actually, if you look at
listening to
the
him
wars
talk
throughout
really
the
makes
world,
me want to puke.
Civilians die in mass in every war throughout the world. Okay, but in this war, the proportion of what Israel's doing is actually pretty good. Now, it's a very hard situation because Hamas is very much embedded in Gaza. They have tunnels who run since 2005. They've been building tunnels under Gaza. It's very hard to fight plainclothes soldiers within Gaza when they have tunnels to retreat to. It's actually a very hard thing to do. Remember, Israel has hostages in Gaza. They're trying to fight Hamas. They're trying to defeat Hamas. Yes, civilians die, and it's horrific. There's no change in that because that's Palestinian life is life. It is valuable life. And everybody here should be sickened by any life that it gets taken. And Palestinians deserve better. Even the Palestinians who want me dead, I think they deserve better. I would like them to have a better life. I know a lot of Israelis feel that way too. In terms of the 1,200, look, the Hannibal Directive conspiracy, it might be that Israel killed some people,
Dude, it's not a conspiracy. Like, he's just stuttering, dog.
And trying to take out Hamas. But hold on. The fact of the matter is that Hamas doesn't even deny what they did. As a matter of fact, Hamas leaders have even gone on TV and said, we will do this again and again and again. Keep in mind what they did. This isn't like...
Because Israel's occupying their land, bro. Like, this has been going on for decades. They came in, took people's houses. They were only supposed to own 60% or 6% of the land. They were fighting for 56 or whatever. Kicking people out of their homes, killing them, doing all this stuff. And this has been happening for decades. So now we have what the state is. And not only that, but it was founded off terrorist organizations. I can't remember the exact ones. I don't want to butcher it, but Myron dropped the names of them. And it was admitted the Hannibal Directive was activated. That's why Yoav Gallant was probably fired because he accidentally said it on live television. So, I mean, I don't get it.
Israel, which is at least trying to mitigate civilian casualties while having an enemy target. Hamas went into Israel. They slaughtered people who were not.
Does Hamas have an Iron Dome? I condemn Hamas, but what I'm saying is, like, does Gaza have an Iron Dome? Like, the only way that they can attack you is if they get through your defense systems, which the reason why they did on October 7th was because you guys let it happen. Allegedly, these are all just figments of my imagination. Random thoughts coming to my head. Just saying it without thinking. So don't come after me. I'm a very happy man. Father of two girls, but I mean, I just say what I read it in a fantasy book somewhere. But yeah, no, I mean, straight up, this is just wild. This guy is defending it, but it's like, why don't we talk about this like with Russia and Ukraine? Why don't we have debates like this with that? I'd like to see some of that too.
Serving in the military, children. They took babies hostage. They took the BBOS kids hostage. The BBOS kids were killed in Gaza. They are babies. Hamas wasn't trying to go around Israel to kill a soldier when they killed those babies. They just killed those babies reportedly by strangulation and the mother. They young women, okay? According to various testimony and UN women, which Israel will say hates them, on December 1st of 2023, it took them a long time, even came out and said that they were very disturbed by the type of sexual violence that took place on October 7th. So the difference is that Hamas went into Israel looking to kill and slaughter civilians. That is the difference. Israel is trying to get its hostage back and defeat a terrorist group that is terrorizing the region.
What about on October 8th or October 10th, whatever the date was? They offered a deal. They were going to give up all the hostages if they could just have a ceasefire or whatever the hell it's called. It was certain stipulations to it, but they were going to give back the hostages, and Netanyahu denied it. Talk about that, brother.
Again, as a last point, you can disagree with that war and say, I don't think that war is necessary. I do to an extent. I have my disagreements with it up and down, but I do to an extent. But war sucks, but that's the reality of the world. And if we let Hamas stay in power, this will go on forever.
Okay, so you made a bunch of points there, and I didn't want to interrupt.
Well, I have to respond to all the things that
yeah,
you
sure,
said.
sure, no problem. That's why I didn't want to interrupt and have a respectful discussion. So the first argument you made was this is the most, I guess, the best ratio of enemy combatants to civilian deaths. Well, look, under normal circumstances, I might accept that. But here's the problem. Israel has the ability to do precision strikes. Israel has one of the best intelligence components in the world. Hold on one sec.
Take your time.
So, since Israel has some of the best intelligence components where they're able to do targeted strikes, killing their adversaries in foreign countries, I will not accept the fact that their ratio is good. People could go ahead and say, oh, in modern warfare, it's the best ratio. You don't stab somebody in the back, pull it out 3 inches, and call that progress. That's not acceptable, especially with a military as capable as them. Also, if we're going to use the whole modern warfare ratio, by that logic, Hamas is more moral than the IDF, right? So that actually hurts your argument. Second, you mentioned the Bebas family. Tragedy. The reality is that they were killed by...
Not a tragedy, a murder.
Yeah.
They murdered babies.
Yes, that murder wasn't...
Say they murdered babies.
No. I'll tell you who...
Did Hamas murder babies?
Actually, no.
Okay.
No, there was only... Hold
Guys,
on.
I think that's pretty dishonest.
Hold on. Because you even said it yourself, they kidnapped babies. You didn't even make the claim that they killed babies.
No, I did say they killed them.
Only one baby was killed.
No, they
on
killed
October
both
7th.
kids.
Again.
No, they didn't kill them on October 7th necessarily. They killed them in Gaza.
Okay, fair.
It's easier to go back and forth on one point for 1 point.
They died in Gaza, right?
No, they didn't die in Gaza. They were murdered in Gaza. Babies and the mom.
All right, I agree with you. Now the real question is, who murdered them?
Hamas.
No, it was IDF. They died from airstrikes. See, this is the thing, and let me tell you why. Before you say, I don't agree with that. Let's go ahead and have a logically sound argument here. Hamas has an inferior military. They don't have an air force. They don't have the structure of U.S. backing and government aid. The only levers they have are the hostages. So those hostages are worth their weight in gold. Why would Hamas kill their only leverage? It doesn't make sense, logically speaking. They're getting destroyed right now, and that's the only thing that they have. So
I can answer that
just
question.
off of common sense.
I can answer that question.
They're not killing their hostages. Because if they were just trying to kill hostages, they'd all be dead by now. A majority of the hostages that died have died from the blockade, not being able to get aid, and they've died by Israeli motives, by bombing and starvation. Hamas aren't going to kill the only levers they have, man. It's just common sense.
Well, you could say it's just common sense.
Yeah.
But, your common sense is then different than my common sense. Look, the reason that Hamas would do what they did is the same reason that Hamas would go into Israel and slaughter teenage girls. It's the same reason. The kind of people that you need to run.
Yeah, Myron's definitely right, Sid. And yeah, I don't know. Hearing these, I mean, that's why I had to take a break yesterday. I mean, I've just been listening to so many of these people talk lately, doing a lot of research, listening to a lot of shit. And it's like, oh my God, it's all the same regurgitated stuff. And it's like, bro, you've been occupying their land. They're doing this to, yeah, I don't know. Israel's, denied every single treaty or ceasefire deal, and then the one that they just put up with Trump. I mean, you think they're going to accept that? Oh yeah, we're going to have a ceasefire, but you're still not going to have a government or military, military at all. We're going to be the one that, basically controls you the whole time. I think they're going to accept that. And then it's just going to be another reason why Israel is going to have an excuse to keep doing what they're doing to Palestine. Oh, they denied the ceasefire deal, so we're just gonna keep bombing them. I can just hear his voice saying it right now. Allegedly, I remember this is all just figments of my imagination. Yeah, Sid, they do make my brain hurt. I mean, I got a headache, bro. I gotta get off here in a few minutes because I'm gonna be back on later tonight. So thank you guys for being in here, though. I love you guys.
On a terrorist group are crazy.
tell
They
you
will
what.
do violent things. They have a lower tolerance for violence. Whatever it is, everybody here should know is that Hamas took babies hostage. Does anybody disagree with that? They took babies hostage.
You went from saying that they killed him, now they took him hostage. Yes, they did, bro.
And those babies, along with many other hostages, did not come back from Gaza
may I respond?
alive.
May I
No,
respond?
hold on, because you made one other point. He made a point about the ratio. So I want to know something. So he came back and said something about normal circumstances and the ratio. First of all, I want to note that he did not come up with an example of a better ratio. He did not. Please note that. Okay. Does everybody listening? He did not come up with an example of an urban war, any war, with a better civilian to combatant ratio. You must note that.
Because killing innocent people is never defensible.
Mac, and you need to go follow Myron at Myron Gaines X when he has Fed Reacts and the debrief, bro. Like completely different from what he says on Fresh and Fit, bro. Go listen to his actual channel and it'll change your mind on him, bro. Straight up.
He doesn't have an example.
Killing
He
innocent
doesn't
people
have
is
an
never
example.
defensible.
Look, guys, you need
Killing innocent people is not defensible.
Be intellectually honest. You can be against me. You can be against Israel. Guys, he doesn't have an example. The second thing he says is Israel can do precision strikes. Look, I think a lot of people Israel has very good technology. Thank God the Iron Dome can block, missiles from landing in Israel. But people have this idea about what advanced militaries are capable of, that precision strikes. It means this missile kind of comes down, flies in the window, goes into the next room and takes that's not what a precision strike is. A precision strike means that you use weapons and technology that mitigate as much casualties as possible. It doesn't mean there's no casualties. It doesn't mean civilians doesn't die. So that's why it's important to look at.
Bro, there's whole ass strikes that happen, and it barely even blows up the side of a building. Like, just be quiet, bro. Like, go look up weaponry. You're just saying all this because it's just some regurgitated shit you guys say, but straight up, I agree with him on a lot of the things he says about women, but that's just modern women.
The actual civilian to
Yeah,
combatant
I see
death
it.
ratio, and then say, hey, are
I
there
mean, see some
examples?
stuff I
It's
don't
fair to
agree
say,
with
are
on,
there
but I
examples in
agree with
other
on a lot of
urban
shit.
warfare or warfare in general to start, and then we can look at urban war that actually show more efficient a civilian to combatant death ratio than Israel's? He didn't come up with an example, so I think
let me ask you
that
this.
speaks for itself.
I find it interesting that you're making a big deal, right? And rightfully so, by the way. I'm not trying to undermine it. You made a big deal about babies being taken hostage, which is obviously deplorable. But then, in the next breath, you don't care that Palestinian babies are getting killed.
No,
every day.
I do.
Isn't it? So
I've already delineated the difference.
There's two standards here, right? And one end, you're okay with Israelis bombing babies because it's a good ratio. But on the other end, the justification for your bombing in the first place is from taking babies hostage. So your logic doesn't flow.
No,
and it
it
doesn't make
does.
sense.
I'll explain.
And I'll tell you why
Go
you
ahead.
have this logic. The thing is this: when Israelis frame their aggression towards Palestinians, it's self-defense and stopping terrorism. But the reality is that Israel is the most well-equipped, funded, and powerful terrorist organization in the world, backed by the United States. Let's look at the definition of terrorism. It is the basically perpetuation of violence for a political ideology. Zionism is a political ideology. They kill people to promote Zionism, aka Israel. So again, if we're going to call Hamas terrorists, which I actually can see that they are, we also need to go ahead and keep it straight aboard and say the IDF were terrorists too. And it gets better because the IDF was created through Irgun, Haganah, and the Stern Gang, terrorist organizations. So the very terrorism
I'm glad
you
you said
guys
that, 'cause I was
condemn
trying to say
and
that
use to
shit earlier.
justify
Well,
your
I'm saying
asymmetrical
the
warfare.
Haganah is a terrorist
Hold on,
organization.
hold on.
Okay,
Hold on.
go ahead.
The very terrorism that you guys condemn for your asymmetrical warfare that you use to justify killing kids is the same terrorism that you guys utilize to create the state of Israel. See how there's a double standard here? And this is what I mean when I say Israelis don't value Palestinian life. They only value Israeli life. On one end, you're making a big deal of babies taken hostage, which is deplorable. But then when I tell you, well, there's babies getting bombed over here, you don't care.
You know, there's a lot of people on my side of the ball who will say, well, Israelis are doing everything they can. They're sending their own boys into Gaza to help move Palestinians around. And
All right, guys, I think we're good. We have 6 more minutes. I mean, I can finish this later, but I'm gonna get off because I'm gonna get back on later in like 5 hours. So I'm gonna go spend some time with my kids. Like I said, it is Sunday, so I didn't go live yesterday. I'm trying to go live more today, but I do want to spend time with my girls and family because that's what matters more than anything. So thank you, Sid, for being on here. And I agree, Myron is on fire. Go check out his channel, Myron Gaines. It'll change your mind on him. And thank you, everybody, for being in here. Mac, everybody else. Make sure you guys hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I go live, especially later tonight. So much love to you guys. Thank you guys so much for being here. And I'll see you next stream. Happy Sunday. God bless.